So hello everybody, if you're watching this on YouTube, I want to say sorry that it's not live tonight, but hopefully you'll find some good and interesting content here. This is a recording of my regular strategy group, twice a day live review of the market, if you like. So we're going to start as usual with Bitcoin and see what's going on with Bitcoin. You know, this is really concerning me that this last swing lower in Bitcoin, you know, normally you look for a reversal. If we're going to stay in a downtrend, you would look for a reversal between the 50 and the 61.8 fib retrace. And here we are still stuck underneath the 50 of this last drop. Why is that important? Because every other one, look, if we go back, this was a 50% and we couldn't get above it and we retested the lows. If we go up to this one here and we look at this was a 50% and down we went. And so, you know, we're getting more and more compressed. You know, we keep bouncing 50% and then this was actually went a little bit further to 618. And if we go back, in fact, this bounce here was a 618 bounce at this high. But it's still that, you know, it's like a tennis ball, you know, when you drop a tennis ball and the first bounce is quite high and then the next bounce isn't very high. And then each bounce gets smaller and smaller till it stops. And it kind of feels like that's how we are with Bitcoin. It's about to stop bouncing completely. Unless we can just get out of this ranges and stuff. When I look at these swings, right, so each one of these swings look like ABC corrections to me, and so we could very easily do another leg higher. I'd love to see another leg higher and up to this daily 200 moving average, but unless we get through that 50-day moving average and that 50% retrace level, we're pretty much stuck. So if we can, and the levels at around 64.30, if we can get above that, we will go back to these highs at the top of this wedge consolidation. And then then that's a big ask, if we can break out of this wedge consolidation, that's when we'll see our another leg higher. And I'm going to measure from this one, which is like the previous low here. Okay, so if this was first leg higher, and so we've had a drop and then ABC, and then we're looking for, I would say 7,000. And I think that that's where we will meet the 200-day moving average. And if we make an equal measured move, we will go back to retest 7,587. So two upside if we can break out of this consolidation. 7,000 and then 7,587, and then we can talk about maybe we're going up again if we get above then. But for now, this is trading pretty heavily, and for us, if we drop back underneath this 20-day moving average on the close, then we're headed back to the bottom of the range. So that's Bitcoin stuck, flat moving averages, only bullish above 6,300. Now Ethereum, I have to say, Ethereum's looking a little bit more perky. Not much, but I really like, first off, I really do like this 886 big fib retrace on the daily that Ethereum bounced from. So that means if we take the lows from December 16 to the highs that we made in January 18, okay, this is an 886 fib. So I'm looking for signs that the bottom is in Ethereum and we don't need another new low. So far, this choppy, overlapping sideways price action isn't compelling at all, and says that quite possibly we retest these lows. But I really do like how these lows, and so I'm going to say that you know, if we do, I would expect them to hold up on a retest, unlike Bitcoin, where I think if we head for new lows that we're, you know, headed for 4,000. So where are we stuck at in Ethereum? Well, we're stuck at the 50-day moving average, and we're stuck at that 50% of this drop. So 219.91. So above 220, we're going to say we're bullish for Ethereum and in a new swing. And until then, we've got flat moving averages and we're going sideways on the daily and at a risk of another swing lower. So if we break back below the 20 moving average, or if we break back below 202, then I think we're in another swing lower to retest the lows. So not much to do really in Ethereum either until we get out of this sideways range. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. Okay, tonight in ETH, and I can't wait to buy ETH. If I look at ETH Bitcoin, let's find ETH Bitcoin. We talked about this morning, if you missed it. So we talked about ETH Bitcoin this morning, looking quite, you know, relatively perky compared to everything else. And, you know, even if this is just a correction off the lows in ETH Bitcoin, we would expect it to be 3 waves before we continue lower again. So if this is our first wave higher, and this is our A, so we've gone A, B, C up, A, B, C down. Now we would expect 5 waves up to finish before we continue lower again. And so if we measure the first swing higher in ETH Bitcoin, and we project it from this low, and we do it like this, you can see how if we make an equal measured move higher in ETH Bitcoin, then we end up at the 236 fib exactly. I love that kind of confluence. So that's at 0.04089. So I think for the next little while, at least, you know, November, we could see ETH outperform Bitcoin just for that reason. So, but just like ETH dollar, ETH Bitcoin is held at the daily 50 moving average, and it's held at 50% of this drop. So we'll take that away. Let's see, we'll see what price this is. Hold on. So ETH Bitcoin above ETH Bitcoin above 0.03387, I think, is a really good buy. And we'd be looking for a target of 4 million Satoshi anyway, 0.04089. That's what I'm looking for in Ethereum Bitcoin. So ETH, I think, potentially set up to outperform Bitcoin for a little bit anyway. So now I'm going to go back in order. So now we're going to look at Ripple, ADA and Raven. So Ripple is another one that's marginally outperforming. Not enough yet to be a trend and a new uptrend, but it's trying after this really strong rally that we had in September and the pullback. It's really trying to make a higher low and move higher from here. If we again put fibs on the retrace level, our 236 fib is at 0.475 in Ripple dollar. If we can get through that, I think that we are on our way higher and are back above this 200-day moving average for sure. So let's say above 0.52, we're in a new upswing, and we should head back initially to 0.967 and these previous highs here. Let me clean up a bit here. We really need to break this 50% pattern. If we take this last swing lower in Ripple dollar, we failed at the 50%. Now we've pulled back 50%. We're rallying again. So this time, you know, because these patterns keep repeating, just like Bitcoin, our confirmation that we're going back to the highs at 0.967 will be above 0.584, which is again 50% of this drop, which is where we failed here in this big swing. So 0.5844 should be your first target if we rally past the 200-day moving average here in Ripple dollar. And again, if we measure it, I bet that we kind of end up with an ABC exactly at that 50%. So watch out, because that becomes now quite strong resistance when we get there at 0.582. It's the equal measured move from the lows and 50% of the drop. So 0.582 should be your short-term upside target. And then if we go beyond it, happy days, we're on our way. So that's Ripple tonight. So ADA, let's take a look underneath the hood on the hourly, and we are trending higher pretty nicely. You know, it's not quite out of the range, but you know, it's certainly worth putting your toe in the water on these pullbacks, I think, in Ripple, and see where we go. That 50% level, for sure, is looking really interesting. So the next one we're going to look at is ADA. So sideways range in ADA, and another one. There's so many coins are doing the same thing. Let's take a look. So the most recent swing lower in ADA is this swing here. This is the 50% level that we're stuck at, 1218. I'm going to do it just this way, 1218. If we can get above 1218 and out of this sideways range, at the moment we've got a double top, double bottom. If we can get out of this sideways range and above 1218, we should head back to test 1358 resistance in ADA. And that, if we then get above there, we've got a bullish reversal. We're trying to make that higher low, but if we look under the hood, 1318 is now our level to watch. And here you can see hourly resistance. We've tested it and tested it again. Swing failure pattern on the hourly, so not really a compelling buy yet in ADA. What I would really like to see at this level is a break above and then a pullback retest. That would make me more confident in this one. It wasn't just a fake out in ADA. So 1318 the level to watch. Otherwise we're not bulls or bears, we're just going sideways in the range in ADA. So Marco says, can we go back and look at Ripple Bitcoin? Yes, we can. We'll do that quickly now. Sorry about that. Ripple Bitcoin. So very, very similar pattern, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to stop on the daily here. So, but better looking when you think about it, because we're above the 200-day moving average. In fact, we've got all of them underneath us now as support. The problem is that we're kind of doing this 618 382 thing. We didn't quite get low enough. So resistance is up here now at 88.19 and back to the top of that range. If we can get above 88.19, and I'm also going to measure it this way, see what that 50, if you see 88.19 is also the 50% of the drop. So 88.19 short term is your upside target, and then above 88.19 we've got a bullish reversal and up we go. So I think it's looking quite good for Ripple Bitcoin. But, you know, a bigger picture, I could argue that we, you know, let's take this away. I could argue that potentially we could have a nice inverted head and shoulders bottom in this if we see a rally back to the highs from here. Here's our left shoulder, here's our head, and here's our right shoulder. So looking all quite balanced at the moment, but that's what we need to see. So watch for that 50% level, and then above there, watch for a retest of the highs around 11,000. Actually, it's yeah, 11,090 around there. So that's Ripple Bitcoin. If we put our fibs on from the highs, that's also, there should be the 382 fib resistance. So from this high up here to this low, that's our 382 fib. So it's actually 11,196 the level in Ripple Bitcoin. Okay, so we've looked at ADA. Let's look at Raven. I'm still long a little bit of Raven. It hasn't been behaving, and when we had the big Sunday rally, it was absolutely devastating that Raven didn't want to participate. And today we've had a really shocking day. So back to the drawing board, I think, for Raven. Let's see. I'm trying to get my chart sorted out, and I'm not having much. Okay, I might as well just look at a 4 hour because this is silly. There we go. Right then. Just have a bit of a tidy up here. So in our so we had our spectacular rally towards the end of October, and since then we've been in this sort of ABC correction, declining wedge. This pattern on its own normally is bullish. It says this is a correction and we should carry on higher from here. Our moving averages have gone completely flat, and so, you know, I'm quite hopeful that we break out the top of this range and up we go. At the moment my stop's underneath here, underneath 595. And so if we don't hold this level on a retest, that would be me giving up on Raven. And I'm giving this a lot of rope, more rope than I would normally. I think we've already done an ABC correction, and so I really do want to see that higher low or return higher. At the moment, if we look at the daily, the only reason that I'm still long is this daily 20 moving average. If we lose the daily 20 moving average on a daily close, or intraday, if we trade underneath these lows, I'm out. So this really, the low today in terms of daily closes, is it for me. As long as we consolidate and hold that, I'm okay to stay long. But as soon as that's gone, I'm no longer long Raven. This looks like a big bullish pennant to me, but pennants are triangle kind of flag patterns, but they can very often turn into bull flags, which are sideways rectangles. So if we do that in this one and another swing lower, I'm not going to sit in it and ride it while it does it. I don't know. Why is it doing that? Like this. So, which would mean, you know, it's kind of back to the 4-hour 200 moving average. So I'm hopeful we don't see a new low. I'm hopeful we bounce off the daily 20 moving average, but hope's a pretty shitty trading plan. So if it doesn't hold it, I'm going to sell it and get out. And that's how I am with Raven. Looking for a bullish reversal here. Let's see. The next one we're looking at is Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash has been on fire. So how are we doing in this one? Again, this is the lovely trend, and we're in sideways consolidation in this one. Similar to Raven. So we might go sideways for a bit. If this is a wave 4, sometimes you'll see a triangle and it'll have 5 waves, and then we'll see another leg higher out of here. If we take a look at Bitcoin Cash on the daily, this is quite important resistance. We've got a double bottom zone down here and a double top. So if we are not going to stay in a sideways range, breaking out above 590 Bitcoin Cash dollar becomes quite important. And then when we do, our first target is back to these prior highs at around 640, but then 748 and the big 236 fib from these highs that we made, the May highs. That's what I'm looking for next. And the 200-day moving average. So 638, then 748 if we can break out of this sideways range. The good thing about a double bottom is that you can measure your targets. So if this is a double bottom, we measure from the bottom to the top like this, and we project it from the breakout level, and then that gives us our target, and that actually is the 200-day moving average, the double bottom target, 786. So we might fail just short of that at the 236, which is why I'm going to stick with that slightly lower target for Bitcoin Cash, US dollar. Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin. We've got this exactly the same double bottom, double top pattern. So we can do the same thing. We're looking for a breakout of this really strong support and resistance level at 0.091 that comes from the lows that we made in April. And we've got, look, 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch. This is 4th time knocking on the door at this resistance in Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin. So if we don't come back too far, if we just kind of stall here, let's see, and if we just stall here, don't come back more than, say, 50% of yesterday's open close and a Marubosu line of this candle, then I think we could have another go at attacking it. But at this point, you kind of almost want to go down to a lower time frame and see either this hourly flag break above this level and hold, or you want to wait for it to break it and then buy like that. Target again. First off is going to be back to that 200 moving average up here at 0.106. But because we've got the double bottom thing, we can, in this one, if you measure it, so we'll measure our target like this, 0.11586 in Bitcoin Cash, if we break out of this sideways range. So there we go. Thanks, darlings. Okay, Bitcoin Cash is done. Let's take a look at Lumen. So far we've got a couple of coins that look kind of bullish, but Here's another one doing that 50% frustrating thing. Lumen, 50%. I'm going to put regular candles on the daily. So we've got a little inside day indecision today. If we take, again, the swing high at the end of September to the swing low, middle of October, we're stalled at 50%. And we came back 50%. So this is corrective, consolidating, middle of a wedge, etc. Hello, Ferenc. We're starting earlier tonight. Sorry. So 38.63 is what we've got to beat. We've got really good support underneath us of these bunched up moving averages, but that doesn't mean that this, you know, wasn't one swing and another swing. I don't think it is. But above 38.63, we're going to go to the top of the wedge and we're going to measure like this. I think 41.57 would be the equal measured move, but potentially if I measure from this swing like this, we'll assume they all have relationships. 41.57 to 4,200. Next upside target if we break higher here in Lumen. I really don't see a compelling reason to buy it unless we get above there. We're just sideways. This is for our hourly. When you see an hourly range like this and it all bunches up, I actually think it's a bit of a gift because you get such a nice early warning breakout trade from these sideways ranges. So that's what I'd be looking for. If we break lower, bye-bye Lumen, we'll wait for a bit. And if we break higher, happy days. So the next one we're going to look at is NIO. Ant shares NIO. So I'm going to pop to the weekly because then you can see that this is actually a really big level back from 2017. So these lows here we're holding very nicely. So the opening week lows in NIO are the support level that we've just double bottomed at. So if this is a double bottom, then from this high to this low will go more than the first sign that we're on our way higher. We'll be going beyond the 236 retrace from this high to this low. And here we are stuck here. It's at 2,600 NIO Bitcoin. Can't get beyond it. We had a look, like last night's close was just so close to being above it. So I think we need a daily close above 2,600 and a move above this daily 50 moving average. Otherwise, we're just consolidating above a really good support level. And you know, we've had one swing. This is how Head and Shoulders patterns form. So if we make a lower high again this time, maybe we might do a full retest, another retest of those lows. When you've got a really strong level like this now that everybody is looking at, which clearly everyone is, it's not weird to see a swing failure pattern. The market will come back and everyone who's got long NIO, they'll run their stops underneath the level. And so that, and then you'll see that, and then you'll see a really powerful move. So back underneath the 20 moving average, I think lower in a correction. We could just otherwise go sideways between these two daily moving averages, but only back above these highs says we're going up again. First target for NIO, if we can get out of this level, will be the highs. This is where the bears will defend it. So this is the bottom of the range, this is the top of the range. It's also a fib level. So 0.00337, 3370 NIO Bitcoin is our target, back to the highs of the range. And then obviously if you break out from this range and it's a double bottom, you'll go twice this distance. So that's how you measure your target. So low to high like this. So that's where we go. 43.98. So NIO sideways range, need to get above 2,600. The next one we're going to look at is EOS. So the good news is it's not going down. The bad news is that this kind of wedge consolidation usually breaks with the trend, and in the case of EOS, the prior trend was down. So we're at risk of losing, this is EOS dollar we're starting with, we're at risk of losing this support level at around 5.3. And if we do, we drop to the next fib support level because we're going sideways around a 786, which is at 3.07. So watch out below if we do break this. And absolutely nothing we can do in this one until we do. Even if we go down on an hourly, you know, if you're looking at this short term to see is EOS going to break down, we've got this nice hourly rising channel like this. So if you're long of EOS, you can draw your channel like this. It's parallel. There it is. Okay, and if we drop out of the bottom, then time to stop being long and wait and see what happens. So yeah, back below 5.39. If we look at EOS Bitcoin, here's our same hourly rising channel. So we're going to stay long and hopeful whilst we're in this channel. It's very steep, isn't it? So I think we can... Gosh, it's a bit... Sometimes I like to draw it like... I know it's a bit naughty, but I take it like this. Okay, so that's the top rail. Here's our bottom rail. I'll just project it. So these moving averages, I wouldn't honestly let it drop much further than this. And if you measure the corrections, they're usually about the same height. There we go. They're equal measured move corrections. That means this correction and that correction are the same size. And as soon as this one gets bigger, it's usually a sign it's rolled over. So holding support in EOS Bitcoin at 84,200 and needs to break out of this wedge consolidation. Watch out we don't roll over. So 50% level, 84,241 is support. Now we need to break out on our upside. I've got an alarm on the upside because EOS Bitcoin, I think then it's a decent buy. But until then, the risk is, you know, we just go lower as well as higher. No trend in EOS yet. Okay, so the next one we're going to take a look at ICX. Try and speed up a little. Sorry, a lot of coins tonight. So we'll take a look at the daily first in this wedge that we're in. First off, it's a bit like Bitcoin in that, you know, the bounces are just getting shallower and shallower and we don't seem to be able to get out of here. At the moment, we've got flat moving averages and we're underneath them. It doesn't mean quite so much when they're flat because it's not such strong resistance as when we're in a trend. But, you know, if we break this sloping trend line from the lows, then I think we're in a bit of trouble in ICX. So, sideways range, we've been in it 6 days and we're waiting for a breakout. This is ICX Tether. We take a look on our hourly, here's our wedge consolidation like this. I should really move it over. Because these highs are what? If we get above these highs, we've reversed our hourly trend. And this is where we keep failing. So it's 0.659. Above 0.659, we're in a new uptrend. So sideways, watch out we don't break down. ICX Bitcoin. Let's see if this tells us anything else. I've been quite hopeful of as you can see, I've been scribbling all over this one. But I had been quite hopeful that we would get out of trouble in this one. And it was looking quite positive, but just haven't managed to do it. And we've got exactly the same pattern, you know. The risk here is we really, you know, retest the lows at 767. That's the risk in ICX Bitcoin, unless we can get out of this So back above these daily moving averages and on our way higher. 50% of this drop, which we're not even close to yet. If we did see a bounce, that's where I'd be looking for resistance at 1,056. And above 1,056, then back to the highs. But is it 1,000? No, wait. 1,044, my apologies. But no trend, nothing to do in ICX, I'm afraid, yet. If we go back to our hourly, what will say that we're breaking higher. I've noticed that this sticks and channels pretty nicely. So here's our descending channel that we're in. I think if we break out of this to the upside, we'll at least see another leg higher, and we'll go for that 50% level and then see what happens there at 1,044. And then if we get above it, let's see. But no, it's not looking, it's looking like we're going to break lower, to be honest. And I wouldn't commit any money to ICX without a better buy entry. That's what my concern would be. Hi, Huber. Okay, so ICX has done WTC. This one's absolutely ruined me today. It was doing all the right things for a really nice move higher, and just wrecked it. So Walton. So in Walton, let's go back to the 4-hour chart of Walton. So I was looking for a correction in Walton, and I thought we had completed an ABC correction. So 2 equal measured moves at these lows here. So again, I'm just going to quickly measure it and show you what I mean, like this. So these lows, this 49.12 was a perfect equal measured move buy entry. And so that was me. But the market's got other ideas. When it came back to retest it, we haven't held it. And so now we're in a much bigger correction. And on our way back to, I think probably, because this is a first swing higher, our next fib support is the 50%. We're on it. So potentially we could sit here. But I think more likely, looking at where that 200 moving average is, we head lower. Let's see where the daily moving averages are. Yeah, because we're underneath the daily 20, I don't think that this 50% will hold. I think that we might try and rally off it, but this 20 will be resistance, and more likely we continue lower to the daily 50 moving average and the 618 retrace, which is down here at 46.50. So 46.50 next support. If we can't hold 48.12. We might try and rally here, but again, I just think we might see one more push lower. So between this, in this zone, I expect support and a bullish reversal, but no sign of it yet. If I was going to walk away, leave this one and put an alarm on, I'd probably put my alarm up here like this. Okay, there's my alert. And if we break up back above that, then we're probably in our next swing high, but I would leave that one alone until then. So WTC, nice shallow pullback, failed. Wrecked. So V-chain is next, VED. We're going to take a look at the daily in this one. We're going sideways at a 618 fib level. We've got pretty perky here. Heiken Ash's turned green after a while. We're trying to hang on and get going above this level. We can't though until we can't change the trend until we get above 175 in V-chain Bitcoin, and we can't rally until we get above this daily 20 moving average that keeps capping us on the way down. So I'm going to say 175 for sure. If we look left at these highs, that's what we're looking for. So potentially, it's just stopped going down and know it's going sideways. So market, that's what it does. It stops going down and goes sideways, and then if everything aligns up, hopefully we see a rally from here. V bottoms, you know, those ones where you touch the lows and you scream higher again, they're very rare in bear markets like this. So that's what we need to see. Above 175, V chain's got a good shot at rally. 187 will be resistance, but then I think our target should be 207. Reversals at a 618 usually go back to the 382. So our target will be 207 if we can rally from here. Like that. Okay, that's VET. Next one is keychain. Self-key, I mean, not keychain, self-key. Okay, so self-key. This is one of those ones where you have this really nice bottoming pattern and we broke out above it. And the level was the low from when this was issued in June. So 114, 115 should be support on a retest. We've bounced off it once and now we've bounced off it again. I'm hoping, if we measure it, that this could mean our ABC correction is complete. The second leg is like a 618. It looks like it, but let's be sure. We might have a little squeeze lower, but it's looking pretty good to rally from the retest to this level. So we won't be sure though unless we break these highs. So let's see if key can turn higher from here. If we can, then above there will be our breakout. So above 135, and then the target is 234. So we go from 135 to 234 target for self-key. If we hold the support and turn higher from here. Poly, so it's a nice look of a retest if we can hold it. Next one is Poly. Polymath, here we go. Again, this is another one, hopefully, that's pulled back to support. The problem is that it's looking kind of very double toppy at a 786 fib level. And when you get a reversal at a 786 fib level, you usually come back to the 382, which would be down here. So quite a big pullback if we do this. And if we measure from the lows, what does that? Yeah. So if we lose 4,026 is the fib support and the daily 20 moving average. If we lose this 4,000 support, that's where you get out. Don't hodl this one. It's going to come back to 2,634, which is a long way back. And I'm a big fan of Poly, you know, but yeah, that would be a normal correction from it. So what might give us hope that we hold on here? Well, this is one of those ABC corrections where the second leg is 61.8 of the first leg, and so potentially, you know, there is some hope, but again, below 4,000 I would be out of this one. Otherwise, just watch for a bullish reversal. And because these hourly, because these are upside down, like, might be one of those ones where we retest in Poly. So the next one we're looking at is basic attention token. All of these coins are looking really beaten up, aren't they? But this one, it's not so bad. Now, what if this was a nice little continuation? I think they call them continuation head and shoulders patterns. They are valid. Here's a left shoulder, big head, little right shoulder, some guy with a tiny shoulders. But let's see. The key question is, are we stalling and reversing here in basic attention token pattern? And I don't think we are, no. I think that we are in a range. We've bounced off the bottom of the range and we're headed back to the top of the range. So here's our highs, double tops, the And I really honestly believe don't diddle in the middle. You have to be really careful with your setups because we can get, look at this, it can get so choppy in the middle of these sideways ranges. But no, I think that we are headed higher, back to 6,300 in basic attention token. I think this price action today was really reassuring. And so we're just consolidating sideways before the next leg higher continues. So no, I like basic attention token to keep going. It's not quite a buy entry here, but this might be later. I might put my alarm here. Next one we're going to look at is Steam. So no, basic attention token I think is good to go still. One of the very few, right? Everything looks so bad. Okay. I'll just find Steam. Everything's on a go slow tonight, I apologise. On a go slow and messy charts. So this lovely rally that we had in September, I've been looking for this to pull back, you know, like 50% and then just carry on, and it just hasn't happened. There's a really good support here, which every time we dip into, out come the buyers, but not enough. It's like failure to launch, not enough to get us out of this zone. And we've been literally doing this all month. So clearly 1197, 1200 support. But whilst we hold onto these daily moving averages, we're just not going anywhere except sideways. So a month-long sideways range in Steam. Let's see what we need to do to get going higher. So first off, above a 236 fib retrace from this entire move lower would be the first thing we want to see. Oops, so that's the highs that we keep getting stuck at. So above 1302, that's our long entry. And this is pretty good support and resistance level as well in Steam from here. There it goes. So above 1302, we're in a next upswing and we're clear of these daily moving averages. And because we've had this big swing higher first, our second swing target is 1973 in Steam. So rather than draw it as a diagonal trend line, look for 1302, yeah, 1306 actually, and then 1973 target. If we stand underneath 1306, not going anywhere in Steam. So the next one we're going to look at is BNB. Okay, so look, this, and remember when we thought this might end up being in BNB Bitcoin head and shoulders pattern? We've gone so far sideways now. This is not a head and shoulders pattern. It's not going to be one. There's no symmetry. Head and shoulders patterns need to kind of have the same size shoulders. And what we've done is just go sideways with indecision at the neckline level or just above it. What we could set up here now, if we go from this swing low, this first pullback was to a 618 level. When you bounce from a 618, you go to the 382. That's what we did. And if we make another leg lower and it's corrective, usually it's to the 786 and it's called a bullish Gartley pattern. And what you want to see is this line up with a fib projection from this swing. So that does line up pretty nicely. The 1.618 is here as well. So if we lose support from this wedge in BNB Bitcoin, then we've got a really screaming buy setup down here at 11,000. My only problem with this, it's not an ideal Gartley, because a Gartley would normally have a pretty good relationship between these two legs. and it doesn't have that, but it's pretty good confluence of support. And so if this wedge breaks down, we'll look for 11,000. If we break this to the upside, we're going to go back to the top of the range at 20,000, which is, up here. But sideways range otherwise. So 20,000 if we break higher, 11,000 if we break lower from this sideways trading range in BNB Bitcoin. In BNB dollar, I stared at this for quite a long time and kind of didn't get that much more enlightenment from it, to be honest. We've still got this wedge. We're still in a downtrend. Breaking to the downside would be favoured in this instance. If we do, I think that we're going to do our fibs from this low to the high because we're retracing this swing like this. And so we've got the same thing here going on. Okay, so it's a bit messy. Bounce for the next fib support is 8.08 and then potentially the 886 at 6.88. So that's where we go. If we can't get back above 10.089, that's where the resistance is now and the daily 50 moving average. So nothing to do in sideways range in BNB until we break out. Next one we'll look at is XVG Verge. Clicky. Another wedge consolidation. This is a daily chart of Verge Bitcoin. We've got 2 touches on our bottom trend line, 3rd touch today, and 2 touches on our upper one, so it's valid. So if we break this, is there any support here or anything to... Could we go a little bit lower? I think we could go a little bit lower. If this is just ABC up, let's put regular candles on in Verge. So if this was just an ABC rally up, and then we're going to do an ABC rally lower, then our first support is a little bit lower at 202 in Verge Bitcoin. So I wouldn't give up on this one until unless we close below 202. If we do close below 202, we're going to go and retest the lows. That's where the ABC lines up at 164. So support a little bit lower for Verge at 202 in Verge Bitcoin. In Verge dollar, horrid downtrend. Here's our wedge consolidation, but let's just do it this way. Okay, so ABC up, ABC down. Where does that give us the support? In Verge dollar here at 0.012. 0.01012 is where the support comes in for Verge dollar. It looks like we're breaking down, but I think sometimes these wedges just become wider, so with only 2 touches it's not really a valid. Let's see. It's threatening lower anyway. I wouldn't be long at the moment. I would be waiting in Verge. Sorry, not better news. Neblio is next. This one rallied with so much promise, Neblio. Now potentially we're at some support here because we are at 50% back of the entire rally from the low on the 14th of August, and we are at the daily 20 moving average, and it's also this support and resistance level through. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why we could find some support around here, 3,667. So now we just need to look lower and see, are we, sticking our toe in and going to rally from here? We've got really nice bunched up moving averages and an hourly hourly consolidation. I'm going to do it horizontally though. I don't trust this. And I'm going to say that if we break above 3,800, then I think we're on our way higher in Neblio again, from off the lows in this 50% level. And that's how I'm going to do it. So that's Neblio. Another way to do it is if it goes beyond the 236 fib from this low to the high, we could mark that and say if we go beyond that, then we've reversed. That's a little bit higher. That's here at 3,900 in Neblio. So watch out we don't stall there, because if we do, that would be like an ABC level. 3,900 above there confirms the reversal for Neblio. Okay. So the next one we're going to look at is Storm. So Neblio could be bouncing off a really nice 50% retrace. Let's see if we can turn it around. So Storm. This Storm doesn't like me. All the things that I rely on to tell me whether it's broken out or not in Storm just didn't work for this one, and so it's really frustrating. So these prior highs sort of, you know, I thought we had a bit of a double bottom. So these prior highs, the 236 fib, there was a whole bunch of things lining up for this to be resistance and Storm. And if we broke above it, held support and rallied, which looks exactly like we did, then we should be in the next swing higher. And it totally faked me out. So I bought Storm on a retest of these lows and we've dropped. So where are we going to come back to? Yay. Back to this now looks like a big ABC correction, unfortunately, in Storm. So let's see if this is what I mean by this. So in fact, no, it's to this one. So to this high, we have a rally, ABC, and then another leg higher like this. So now it looks like we just squeaked above it, but it's still an ABC correction. So let's see if we can get where the 50% back comes in. At the daily 50 moving average. So 131 is our support in Storm. Nothing to do, I don't think, until we get there and test that one. So 131 next for Storm. The next one we're going to look at is Monero, which is one of the rare few little gems in this market. Monero. Now, it's not entirely perfect, but because it is within sideways consolidation, but if we, again, you know, if we fail at a 50% retrace, then it usually means we're going to go lower. But in this one, we rallied to 50%, but we've held support of 50% back. So, and double bottom from it. So I think at least we go to this trend line, but more likely we head back to the 200-day moving average and these prior highs, because we're in a sideways range. What we need to confirm that, because we're doing that 50% thing, is breaking above this 50% in the middle. So we're right there now. So 17,393. So far we're just sideways underneath it. This is another one. If you might want to de-risk in Monero and then wait for this to break back above 17,393 in Monero Bitcoin. I think we can set target for 19,257. If we don't and we come back a bit further, or if we lose this hourly 50 or this sideways range that we're in, then I think probably game over, and we've failed at the 50% in Monero as well. So watch out for this. Another way I would say would be this 236 going this way. Let's see where that is. Oh, it's already below. So we'll take the lows of this range. So we really don't want any lower than this. Or we're going to come back to the 50% in the middle, which is 16,700. So if you're long, I would consider getting out below 17,000 Monero Bitcoin. If you're looking at Monero dollar, all of these sideways consolidation patterns. So Monero dollar, again, hit this resistance level. So confluence of fibs here that we were underneath and these prior lows. Let me pop regular candles on. So 112 in Monero dollar was a bit of a support and resistance level that we really needed to take out if we were going to go higher. And you can see what I mean here. A little bit of a false break, and then we failed at it, it looks like. So again, just like Monero, Bitcoin, we don't want this to come back too far and be a reversal. We just want a nice little ABC pullback, which it looks like we're doing, and then turn and go higher again. So de-risk in Monero, mark this, see if we can turn up higher from here. This looks like an ABC complete soon. That's what we want to see. 618 anyway. So yeah, I'm looking for Monero. I would say again, if we lose this hourly 50 moving average, which all the way up you see was support, 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 that would be my exit below there. And then wait for the next buy entry. Clearly above 112.50 in Monero looks great for the next swing up. And we're going back to the top of the range in this one. But actually I think we should do top of the range and the 200 moving average, at least 137, but potentially back to 150 in Monero. Okay, Chuck says he wants me to bat on Binance. I'll go back and look at bat on Binance. I must have done the wrong one. Is it very different? Quite, okay. Here's still our wedge consolidation bat on Binance. I think it still looks good. You know, I can see this trend line that you're looking at, yeah, I can see this trend line you're looking at, but it's holding up, you know. If we break these lows, then obviously it's a different story, but I still think that basic attention token has potential to go higher from here. Let's make sure that's 786, isn't it? Did it tag it? Yeah, it did. Yeah, keep an eye on this to make sure we don't lose the support, but so far so good. On our daily, you know, we're still green, high Kanashi and reaching higher. I'm holding on in this one. Okay, so next one on the list. Sorry, it's a really long list tonight, but we did the poll, didn't we? Storm Monero. Sorry, I'm just catching up where I am. Sia Coin. Sorry, I just saw that in the comments about Binance. So we're going to look at Sia Coin now. What we're going to try. So banged our head at this resistance. You know, I think we're headed back to retest the lows, and if not, still in a downtrend in Sia Coin. And so I'm a little bit concerned. If I was long today, we lost the 50 moving average on the daily yesterday, and today we've seen really nasty follow through to the downside. So I think, you know, at best we could be looking at a big ABC correction. If this was ABC up, then we're going to do ABC back. And so because we've lost that 6-1, we're going back to 88 in Sia Coin. That's the next support potentially, 88. I think if I draw it like this too as well, that takes us back to this trend line area. So look for support in Sia Coin at 88, but if we drop below 88, this is a bear flag, and we're in another swing lower in this one, and then look out below, because we'll come back and retest these lows at 41. So that's another 50% off, you know, where we are now. So bear flag below 88, and 88 is potential support. Hi Joshy, we'll try on the end, okay? So the next one we're going to looking at is TFD. T-Food, I had to find this one on Coin Signals. So pretty clear where our resistance is in this one, 24,800. It's these previous highs, so that's the daily trend. It's this swing low here. So it's massive support and resistance. And so important that we close above it, 24,800. Here on the hourly, this does not look like a nasty bearish reversal yet. But that's not to say that it's not going to turn it into one. Either way, we've stopped going up here. And we need to be patient now. So take some profit. You will have hit your first target if you've been long of this one. And if you're waiting to buy this, let it sort itself out and decide if we're going to break higher or reverse here. So here's your little hourly range. If we lose these lows and this daily and this hourly 50, I would say get out and wait for the next long entry. Potentially we could come back further than you expect. Let's go back to the daily. Look how far away the daily 20 moving average is. It's all the way back at 21,100. 21,100. That's quite a lot to give back to these lows. And back to this kind of, this is 5 waves up. Back to these lows would be a very common retrace. If we are really bullish this one, and this was a wave 1, and this is a wave 2, and we've just done a wave 3, then the most common retrace is 38.2 of this. So 38.2 of this is back to 21,200. So back to kind of where we were looking, and the daily 20. 21,200 then, if we roll over here, is ideal pullback buy. If you've got, looking at this and you've got FOMO, that's the level I'd be watching for, 21,200. In TFD, T-Food. Next one is IOST. Here we go. So IOST token. Gosh, if this one died, it looks like, you know, the heart monitor for some patient in hospital. We're going sideways at the lows from March. No trend. Like, really no trend. This looks like Bitcoin, doesn't it? I'm going to zoom in now. This is why it looks like Bitcoin, because here we had this swing lower, and the 50% was resistance. And then we had this smaller swing lower. Okay. Here. And this 50% was resistance for, gosh, you know, 8 days at 197. So, you know, that's what we've got to get above if we're going to go higher. 197. We need a daily close above 197 and a push higher. Otherwise, we've got dead flat moving averages and nothing to do. Nothing to do in this one. So, sorry. So, clearly it's pretty good support, you know, and these last few days, since I can see, like, there is a ray of hope in this one, because this low at 186 from March has been working as quite a good support and resistance level through the middle here. And you can see, so it was when we were above it, it was support, and then resistance when we were underneath it. And since the 20th of October, we've been above it, and every day we dip to that level, it holds a support. So if you wanted to, you know, that's where you could leave an order, couldn't you? It's a pretty good chance that it was hold if you were looking to accumulate some of this IOST. So here's our latest drop. I bet we're still stuck at the 50% from this. So let's see. So no, not out of trouble until we can do that. No. Okay. Let's see what we do need to see. Go back to that alleys. I wasn't drawing that right. Okay, let's. I'm going to ignore this silly spike and do the swing this way. Again, look, that 50% level, 192. So short term, above 192 would be a break high, wouldn't it? We could put our toe in the water above 192, and then if we get above 192, and then we'll go look for that bigger level that we can't get above here at 200, where we've been stuck. So put your toe in the water at 192 and then see if we can break 200 for a swing higher. If we do, when we do, then clearly these highs up here are at 260 are our first target. 260 is the first target for IOST if we can break higher. So the next one we're going to look at is OCN. Odyssey. I always think ocean. Now, the bad news is the fib rules in this one, because we've reversed it in 886. That normally means back to the 50, and we've done it and we're doing another leg. So best hope, I think, is going to be an ABC correction and 111 for OCN. However, in terms of like little fib rules that I apply in my head, if we reverse it in 886 and we can't hold the 50%, we usually come back to the 236, and that's 97. So I'm going to say I don't like how we've closed onto this daily 50, or it looks like we're going to today. We're underneath the 50 and solidly heading lower. So 111 maybe support, that's where the measured move is, but more likely 97. So if you've still got some, see these lows that we're just breaking, it's time to say bye if we close below them, 138, and wait and see. Bigger correction coming for OCN. BWK is next. Don't know this one, so we'll have to do it here. BWK. Bulwark. Let's see Bulwark Bitcoin. So, and where are we most importantly in relationship to these lows? We'll see where if we're holding on, if we're losing the fight or not. And actually we should move it to these lows, shouldn't we? So we're holding above those lows, but we're just bumbling along the bottom. Nothing has happened in this one to make me want to buy it yet. If I put regular candles on, you can see that first off, the first thing we're going to need is a close above the 20 moving average. We've started to flatten out here, so there's a little bit of hope. If you can see, we've got like a triple bottom. So we made a bottom, a double bottom, bounce really nicely, and then we've got this swing failure pattern. So maybe third time's the charm and we can rally from here, but only if we get above that 20 moving average and these highs of this little short-term range that we're in. And so let's take a look here. Okay. So we need to get above 1,027,900, and then we're going up 1,027,900, which is this level here. Otherwise we're stuck. Okay. Now, Bulwark, if it does get above that level, 1 million, and above that daily 20 moving average, your first target is easy. It's back to the daily 50. When you break above the 20, you usually aim for the 50 next. And if we do that in this one, we can see these lows, these high, not these lows. I think that that's about going to be about 1,128,000 anyway, and the 50 moving average next. So that's BWK. AMB is next. AMB is Ambrosus. Ambrosus. Stuck at the 236 fib, but holding support. So I'm not going to give up on this one. And not only that, but we've stopped at this kind of initial 236 fib that I've drawn from this low to high, which lines up with these lows. So that's 3,443. But if I draw this as an ABC, which it should be, and I put the fibs on both swings, which is what you should do for an ABC, then the 236 is a little bit higher at these lows and at the 200-day moving average. So I'm looking at this, and it is quite a bullish shape it's making here, and thinking that we should really break higher from here and go one more leg up to 4,033. So how are we going to know that Ambrosus is doing that? If we break out from this flag pattern here, so above 3,035, I think it's a buy entry above 3,035. Watch out for trouble at 3,400, and then the target is 4,033. And that is the daily 200 moving average take profit up there. Okay, 4,000. So one more swing higher potentially for Ambrosus Bitcoin, targeting 4,033. Next one we're going to look at is TRX. Haven't looked at TRX for a while, have we? So I have to say that I'd kind of written this one off because this had just had such a look of a bear flag shape. You know, I was like, oh, you know, the price action, it was going sideways, but it was like choppy, overlapping waves. Plus, it hadn't quite reached the 886 fib level that I was waiting for. But I'm open to this, you know, reversing and being a bottom. And if we get back above the previous fib retrace level, which is the 786 at 461, then I'm happy to say, yeah, it probably is a bottom for TRX. So far so good. These are not, you know, wildly impulsive moves, but it does look like we are set for one more swing higher. And so I'm going to look for 451 in TRX. So I'm going to go down a time frame. It's looking good, isn't it? So daily buy signal for us with this as well. So here's our swing here. Here's our second swing lower. Yeah, watch out for trouble around 380. And if we look left, there is quite a bit of trouble around here. And I think actually it might be that 618 level, which is a little bit higher. 391, so 380, 391. You see these highs, this high here. Sorry, I don't know why it won't give me. There, this high, and this 618 level previous high. If we're going to stall anywhere, that's probably where we will. But otherwise, I think that another swing higher for TRX, I like it. 456, maybe 490. Let's see. So daily buy, hourly buy. I like the look in TRX. Back to 450 and 490. Next one was looking at a CVC. Haven't looked at CVC for quite a while. Marathon tonight, isn't it? Civic. I'm going to say Civic. kind of tricked me, this one. So at the moment in this one, we're still in an uptrend as long as we don't, it's a bit like Raven, you know, we're still in an uptrend as long as we stay above the 20 moving average, and this is just a pullback. And, you know, pullback in an uptrend. It has been very choppy overlapping. By that I mean, you know, we'll make a wave and a pullback, and the next wave will pull into that all the way higher. So this is normal price action. So for this one, and we've got a bullish cross of our moving averages, and we haven't reached the 200 moving average yet. So I'm still looking for this to go higher, but you know, clearly it's not the most exciting long trade. If you were looking, I don't think Civic, I think that there are better setups out there than this one. But yes, as long as we hold 50% of this most recent swing higher, which we can see on the hourly, and 50% of that, and as long as we hold above the daily, the 20 moving average, here we are at the 50%. So this is where I would like to see it rally from, 21.85, to hold the trend in CVC. And we should see another swing higher. I just think that there are probably better setups out there. Sorry, if you're a big CVC fan. 21.85 support. Let's see if it holds. Target is 27.66, the 200 moving average, and the lows that we made in March. GXS is next. Don't know this one. GX chain. So I've done the most recent kind of this swing. I've put a number of fibs on this one. I've done this most recent swing here, and then from this high, and there's a bit of confluence. It's this blue line is the 50% that we're stuck at, really. So if we do, normally if you would stuck at a 50%, you would come 50% back. We've done that, and then we've rallied back and still got stuck at this 50% level. So this is what we need to break above if we get 2,534 if we're going to go anywhere in GSX, and for the next leg higher, really, to this 200 moving average. So let me see, put one more fibs on like this. Oh God, you piece of gone. Sorry, just frustrating now. There we go. Okay. So I think we go, if we get above there, we should go to 50% of the whole thing. No. Yeah, that lines up with the 50%. Okay. So yeah, target 3,090, 3,100 for the next swing higher. But only if we're like 2,530. I think now this has become a range trade, we could very easily go back to the bottom of the range. I would not be long at the moment. I think we're just as likely to go lower as higher in this one. Sorry, flat moving averages are no trend at all in GX at the moment. Zilliqa is next. Zilliqa's been quite a tough trade, hasn't it? I mean, haven't they all? But Zilliqa has been. This is why, this sideways range in Zilliqa. This is a 4-hour chart of Zilliqa. Here's a daily chart. So, bullish cross of our moving averages. Everything looks set. You keep thinking, oh, this is it. This is the one. Zilliqa's going to go. And we just don't get anywhere. We're stuck between the 61.8 fib and the 382 fib. And we've been here for quite a while. This is the rally from the 14th of August low to the 29th of August high. And this 618, 382 range is where we're stuck. There's really no trade now in this one until we hold above 575. And if you are already long, if we drop back below 540, which is the pivot level through the middle, we're going to go all the way back to 505, so don't hodl. Like, nothing to do in this one, unfortunately. So Zilliqa, we need to see a breakout, hold above 575, and then look to rally. Very frustrating price action. So Stratis is next. Quickly take a look at Stratis. Have we bottomed and are we turning up higher again, which is what we were waiting for in Stratis? No. So far we're holding the daily 20 moving average, but this close is not looking very promising. And close below, I would get out because we'll see another leg lower. This is a bigger correction, and although I think we'll stop maybe at the 50, we may not, you know. We've double topped in Stratis, so yeah, back to the bottom of the range. So is this a buy here? Not until we see it go green and turn higher. You know, it's a very tough, you want to see some really bullish price action off the daily 20 moving average and then buy a pullback. At the moment, it's just done a bounce and a tiny little double bottom here. It's not nearly enough of what you want to see to buy. You want to see some bullish price action, and we haven't got any. So I'm afraid no. Stratis is at a level where maybe we'll find some support, but it's not looking very promising. I would leave it unless it does something spectacular to say buy me. I would leave it alone. IOTA. Now this one has been very nice. So here's our daily chart of IOTA. Here's our bullish move above the 20 moving average. Everything on the daily, everything is set now to go back to at least the 50 at 81,000. But I think that this is a bottom. So just because we're above this 20 moving average. It's our trend. It's our best friend in terms of trend, the 20 moving average. So we're going to buy dips. So this is an hourly consolidation, and we're looking for a break of this consolidation to the upside and the next swing higher. Mark where the 50 moving average is. So whatever time frame you're trading, you're looking at for where 81,100. You're looking for where your first next target is. So yeah, buy a break of this consolidation higher. 81,100 next. So doesn't look like, I bet you're looking at this and going, well, how do we know? Where is it stopped? 50%. So if it goes more than that 50% level, there it is that we keep stalling at. Above 77,735, we're probably in the next swing, and 81,129 next. Good luck. In IOTA, that's IOTA Bitcoin. IOTA US dollar, I'll do quickly. And same bull flag, above support, really nice bottom. And on the daily, our target is going to be 0.53, because that's where the first target is going to be 0.53. That's the daily 50. But we've got a reversal at an 886 fib. A reversal at an 886 fib targets a return to the 50%. So that's 0.6094. So we've got resistance at 0.53 and then target at 0.6094. This really is making a pretty nice reversal. So here's our hourly bull flag consolidation. Looking for it to go to the upside again. If we go beyond 50%, which is 0.5049, we should go higher in IOTA dollar. I like IOTA dollar a lot. So Lend, ETH-Lend is next. So ETH-Lend stalled at a whole bunch of really tough resistance. 200-day moving average. 50% of this last swing lower was here at 393, and then from this swing the 236 was here as well. We couldn't close above that either. So sort of 360 to 390 it was really tough resistance, because this is like this 50% thing. I think that there's a risk that we come back 50% before we have another go at higher. And so back 50% here. It's a little bit lower, 286. See what happens there. No reason to buy F-Lend, I think, until we see that. And potentially, you know, could come 618 and that daily 50. So if you've been long, losing the 20 moving average here at this confluence of resistance, I would get out and wait. BQX is next. Ethos. So on the daily in Ethos, potentially we've got a support level because we had a bullish cross of our daily moving averages. Great. Now, when you get above them, you look to pull back and retest them and find some support. And this 54.63 really is the last line. If we go below here, I think that we are setting up a full-on retest to the lows, and we've blown it really in lens. So let's see. Let's take a look underneath and see, have we stopped going down? Is it not really enough sign of a support here, is there? So potentially, is there enough evidence here to buy yet? No. Really, like, wait for a big green reversal candle, you know, one that takes out maybe the prior low and then properly reverses it. And then if you see that, then the next day you can buy the pullbacks into that and then get long. But there's no reason to be long, to buy lend at the moment at this level until we see some evidence of buyers. And there aren't any at the moment. So let's see. Is there anything I'm missing in this one? I don't think so. So this is where we're stuck. For these lows here, this is where we keep sticking, 6,700. So back above there would be a pretty good sign. Otherwise, this actually makes us even like less exciting, doesn't it? Because this could very easily become a bear flag and then back to the spike low. Spike lows very often get retested. So I'm just going to do ZEC and POE. I'm going to add them on the end. Yeah, ZEC and POE, no worries. Nobody voted for ZEC, but I nearly stuck it on. Okay, GoChain. Everyone's talking about GoChain. Let's see, what have we come back? GoChain. Now, I'm looking at it on the hourly, but let's look at it on the daily and see where we're at first here on the daily. Because if we look at daily candles, let's hide this for a second and hide this. Then we've stalled at the 20 moving average after closing underneath it, but it's a little bit of a sideways thing, and I don't like how we closed underneath it yesterday. I think it leaves us open to a little bit lower in this one, so I'm being a little bit cautious, and until I see it close above that 20 moving average again going higher, especially with the CCI down here on the daily, I'm not compelled to buy it yet. So let's put those fibs back on and now go back and look at this correction on the hourly, because I initially wanted to see an ABC correction in this and we didn't do it. This second leg, in fact, went 1.618 of the first leg, which is very often the sign that you are going, here it is, 1.618. That's very often the sign that this is a third wave and we're going to see another leg lower. And if that's the case, then these hard lows here are resistance, this 200 moving average is resistance, and not only that, but we stuck at the 50% from this high to low and we've reversed. So because we've done that 50% thing, so we've gone, look, we're doing 50%, 50%, 50%. So on this rally from the lows, we bounce from the 50% level. Then we hit the 50% from this high to low. So now we're looking at 50% of this smaller rally to hold as support. And that's where we are now. If we break it, so if we go lower than this here, then we've broken the pattern and we're on another leg lower. And it looks to me like that's what we're doing. So I'd be very careful in this one. I think we're setting up another swing lower in Go Chain. So no, it's not a buy for me yet. Now, if we did something spectacular and impressive, if we double bottomed at this 876 level or something like that, then I would be much more interested. If we made a base, something like that, then that would be great. But for now, no, let's leave Go Chain. It's not clear that we've made a bottom and we're going up again yet. So Wax is next. Wax. I've been so impressed with this Wax. So first off, Wax had this horizontal from the lows that we made in June, had this horizontal level that we were stuck at, that we really needed to get above if we were going to get to our first target of 1939, which is the brand new 200-day moving average and the big 236 fib retrace from the highs. So that was our target here, new 200-day, 1939. Here's our bottoming that we're looking at. And you can see that bullish candle yesterday off the 20 moving average, and we're solidly above this support level now. So this is very good news. It means that we can buy hourly pullbacks, hopefully, and look for us to keep going higher. So not lined up to buy at the moment. And if we look, each one of these corrections, even the small ones, have been 3 waves. So A, B, C, look, A, B, C. And so we've had one swing lower, rally. We still need an A, C leg before we can rally again. So connect the highs, wait for the next swing, up, next dip, and then next rally. And I like Wax to break, hold above, back above this 1331 resistance and go to 1939. Looking good for Wax. Next one we're going to look at is GVT. GVT. The reason we're looking at GVT is, okay, so if I take everything else off, this rally in GVT stalled at a 50% level. Here, 50%. Went a little bit beyond, but that's fine. And now we've come back, and what we're looking for, GVT to hold the 50% back. So that's kind of where we are now, and the 200-day moving average. It's a little bit woolly, but we went beyond it the other way, so I'm going to forgive it. So this, where we are now, should be really good support for GVT to turn higher. Now I want to go down and look lower time frame, because I want to see, has it done that ABC correction thing that we're waiting for. So Tigger, can you let her out? The answer is no, we haven't. We haven't quite done an ABC correction. There's a risk we go a little bit lower to 13,653. So we need to see something like a decent bullish reversal with our hourly moving averages. So something like a rally and a retest that flips our moving averages the right way round, exactly like we did here, look. And then, but in this zone, I'm watching GVT for reversal. No sign of it this, but maybe in the next day or two, we could see one in GVT. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is POE. Let's see where POE is. Sorry. And there's ZDC and POE. Let's find POE. James, the money. Okay, thanks. Okay. So POE. Sorry about that. I'm having something delivered. POE rally. This rally has been, I think, an ABC correction. So I'm a little bit concerned about POE. It's not exactly lined up. It missed it by like a couple of pips. 243 was the ABC correction level. But this 236 fib level where we stopped was real. And we've reversed at it. So being a little bit careful with this one. Where will we come back to? I think if we can hold the 50% on a retrace, like 174, that's potentially a good sign that we can turn around and have another go at this 200-206 resistance. But if we drop back below 174, then we're in big trouble. And because the reason we're in big trouble on the daily is that we never quite hit the fib support that I was looking for, which potentially is at 85 down here. So the risk is that we see another swing lower down to 85 if this breaks down. So I'm not falling over myself to buy POE yet. I think maybe support at 174, but below 158, get out of dodge, we could see another leg lower. Stop. Okay. Sorry. The next one we're going to look at is ZEC. Here we go. Last one. Okay. Now, I quite like the look of this. At the very least, okay, I think that we are setting up another swing higher. This was our first correction, and then we made an ABC down, and I'm looking for another leg higher to the 200-day moving average if we can break out, and that would be an ABC, so 25,900. It's kind of got the look like trying to make a higher low. So 50%, is that where we stalled before? 61.8, yeah. You know, we've got a bit of work to do, and the first thing we need to see is a daily close above this 50% level where we got stuck before. So 0.019346 on a rally. If we rally back and get above that, then back to the highs, and then I think we can see our 25,900. But otherwise, just a sideways range in Zcash. Unfortunately, the hourly looks pretty good, doesn't it? It looks like it wants to do it. You know, we've got above the 200 hourly moving average. We've pulled back, found support. We're having a go. So if you bought it here against these moving averages, 19,346 is what you've got to watch for. And then we can say we're going higher. Okay. All right, everyone. Thanks a lot for coming. See you in the morning. Bye.